Hi, everybody. This is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. So we saw the Bulls continue the run today. It was kind of a boring open, and then we had the CPI numbers that spiked up and then came back down. It was really a non-event, and then really the minute the bell sounded, we saw the Bulls go back to work, and it was one of the things where I wasn't that surprised because I figured that they were going to come up at least and do the 78% retracement. Once we got through it, it opened the door for the next pivots, and that was the 59. I'm going to zoom this in so we can see it. So it's actually out here. So the 5909 and then the 5920, and that just has to do with the resistance levels that were here. And we made it up to the 5909, but you see we didn't have any bearish divergences. So the 15-minute chart had these divergences. So what I was, what my thinking was that once we got to the right around that 52, the 58.62, I was going to start looking on the short side. It went up a little more. I took a position, went a little bit underwater, and then towards the end of the day, I put on a straddle trade, and it was with the spiders. It wasn't with the S&P, just because there was not a lot of time left, and I didn't really want to risk that much money on it. So what happened was the objective of the trade was if we made it above these highs, we were going to see the S&P go all the way up to the 59.25. But if the highs held, and then we were able to take out these lows right here. We were anticipating that the S&P was going to go somewhere down into the 58.70, and that would bring the spiders down to the 585. So everything kind of worked out all right. But once I saw us getting up into these levels here and not breaking it, and then saw a red candle, I actually took the call trade off for a profit because I took these when it was right around here. I took the calls off for a profit and then ended up making decent money on the puts and added to the position. And I did a market at the end of the day close. For some reason, it's still kind of open. It's not open. It's closed. It's not showing anything open, but I don't know what's going on with it. But in any case, we did all right for the day. We made for 1,840. So you can see this open that's just showing up here, even though it's closed. So that with the $1,800 gain that we made for the day, I was down 1,400, but we're up to 313,403. So things went all right with that. It was just a little dicey with the trading, but what my thought process was when we were up here, because we had these sell signals, was we're going to get a pullback, and really I'm anticipating that we're going to get a pullback that's going to come somewhere down into this the 57.96, and that's just a 23% retracement from the lows to the highs, because we really haven't even had one since this gap up at all. So looking at expecting a bare minimum of a 23% retracement makes sense. So that's still 86, almost 90 points lower on this, and you can also see it's a moving average. So I'm pretty sure if we do get some kind of open there, buyers will step in. But really, because if we take a look, what I want to do is this, because the 60-minute chart, and right now I can just take these right now and delete them because we're above all the fib retracement levels. So we made it above the 78% retracement. So if we come down and do get that pullback that I'm anticipating, and we hold either the 57.96, 57.26, this would be the buy area that I'd be looking at, and just leave the door open that we're going to come down and close this gap here. But once it does that, then really what's going to happen is we're probably going to come back up. And my next target is going to be all the way up near this near the 6,000 level. So down and then up would make the most sense on that. And you can see we have support here at the 57.79. So I think that we're going to find support here. We're going to find buyers step in, come up and do this, and then that's going to set up the bearish divergences. And then I really believe that we're going to see a deeper pullback, and really what I would be anticipating is that we're going to come down somewhere into the the 5450 or start closing some of these gaps that are here. One being the 5300. Excuse me. So this would be the pullback that I'm anticipating, but really what will happen, I don't believe it's going to come in a straight line. I think we're going to come up, down, and it's really going to take its time until we get out, the bullish cycle resumes again, which we're kind of at the end of it right now. So the fact that we hit all the pivots that I've been looking for, and it's falling right into the time period 2 days before, and when I showed you the put call ratio as well as the VIX in today's report, you can see there's greed back in this market. So we have to now start looking both ways on this. And right now the trend is up, so that we don't really want to fight that. But when we start seeing divergences like this, you start looking for resistance areas. And with the divergences that are here, this is not really played out at all. That's why I'm thinking that we're going to see it move somewhere down into the 5800. We'll just keep it a round number. And then from there, it will resume back up. It may resume back up because, like I said, we met both price and time. So if things end up getting, say, where the bears really wake up, I'm going to accept it because this was exactly where I was thinking we were going to go from when we were down at these. I'm sorry, hang on one second. When we were down at these levels here, these were my upside targets, and they came into play and they came right in. So if we do see selling pick up, I have no problem saying, hey, this was the top. But the fact that we don't have the bearish divergences has me believing that we'll come down, test the 5780 level, come back up, and then make it up to the 6,000 possibly. Or would just maybe do a double top. But if we got up to these levels, that's where we would see the bearish divergences if things play out the way they are. But right now, the bears don't have a whole lot to hang their hat on. Everything they were scared of back on April 7th when the Trump hating media was saying the world was collapsing because of him, and now they're into panic buying mode, and that's where we get the pullback just to wash them out again. So I am anticipating it. How that forms, I'm kind of up in the air with it, just because, like I said, we could make another higher high up to the 6,000 level, or that this could be the top and we just make the top without any type of divergence. But if history is going to be, if we're going to look at history as our guide, typically we do come back up and break these and get some sell signals. So again, on the upside, the bulls, they're going to have to get it through to 5909. If they do that, you can see that we have some resistance here at 5982, but being we're going to be so close to the 6,000, I think we would just get there. And then on the downside, we have the support right here at the 5840. Well, let's just do this. This is probably even easier to show. So right now we made it through this little zone here. So we just take this and move it here and say, okay, here's 5877. This is really going to be the line in the sand for the bulls, because if they lose that, then you can see there's really not a whole lot of support until we start getting back down into these levels here at the 5828 and then down at the 5787. So this is going to be important for the bears to get through, and I wouldn't really assume that we're going down until this is taken out, because they may be just forming a little range right here and then we head higher, but that's going to give some time for the 60-minute momentum to turn down and then give us the divergences. But if they lose this, then we assume we're coming down to the 5840. If they lose that, we have, this support right here at the 5820. But my guess, we would come down and test this gap right here, or where the gap held right here. And this would be my downside target where I'd be interested in buying for possibly that last leg up. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.